These are the top 10 oatmeal mistakes that are secretly draining your health. Mistake 1. Adding too much sugar. All right, this one probably the most common. I've seen people take a perfectly good bowl of oats and drown it in brown sugar, maple syrup, chocolate chips, you name it. I used to do it too. Just a little here and there, right? How bad could it be? But here's the truth. Even small amounts of added sugar, especially first thing in the morning, can spike your blood sugar fast. You get this false high and then boom, an energy crash that leaves you tired, cranky, and craving more sugar all day. It's like setting yourself up to fail from the start. I've learned that the better option is to sweeten naturally. Think bananas, apples, or some fresh berries. I even add cinnamon or a splash of vanilla extract to give it flavor without turning it into dessert. My mornings feel way more balanced now, and I'm not constantly reaching for snacks before lunch. Mistake 2. Using pre-flavored instant oatmeal. I get the temptation. It's quick. It's easy. It says heart healthy right on the label, but most of those pre-flavored oatmeal packets, they're basically candy in disguise. The amount of added sugar in just one packet is shocking. I'm talking 15 to 20 grams in some of them. And it's not just sugar. There are preservatives, artificial flavors, and even hydrogenated oils hiding in there. That's not what your heart needs. I switched to plain rolled oats or steel-cut oats, and honestly, it made a huge difference. You're in control of the flavors, the sweetness, and most importantly, your health. It only takes a few more minutes, and you can still make it taste amazing with real food. So next time you see apple cinnamon flavor on the shelf, ask yourself, is this actually healthy, what doesn't or just convenient junk in disguise? Mistake 3. Skipping protein. I used to think oatmeal was a complete meal on its own. I mean, it's warm, filling, has fiber. That should be enough, right? But here's what I found out. Oatmeal on its own is mostly carbs. Without any protein to balance it out, I'd be hungry again in an hour. Not to mention those mid-morning energy dips. That's because carbs alone can cause blood sugar to rise quickly and drop just as fast. That crash? Not fun. Now, I always pair my oats with some protein. It doesn't have to be complicated. A spoonful of almond butter, chia seeds, some Greek yogurt, or even a boiled egg on the side does the trick. Not only does it keep me full longer, but it also helps protect muscle mass as I age. Ever notice you're constantly hungry even after a healthy breakfast? This could be why. Mistake 4. Eating too much in one sitting. You know the logic. Oatmeal is healthy, so I can have a giant bowl and pile on all the toppings, peanut butter, nuts, fruit, honey, all the good stuff. I've definitely had mornings where I did that. It felt comforting, warm, and satisfying, until about 30 minutes later when I felt sluggish and overly full. Turns out, too much of a good thing is still too much. Oats are high in fiber, and when you go overboard, it can lead to bloating and even interfere with mineral absorption. And calorie-wise, that giant healthy bowl can rival a fast food breakfast. Now I stick to half a cup of dry oats, which doubles in size when cooked, and I add a few simple toppings, not a mountain of them. It's all about balance. Have you ever finished a big oatmeal bowl and felt heavier instead of energized? That was me, until I learned to portion it right. Mistake 5. Not soaking the oats. I used to skip this step all the time. I mean, who has time to soak oats overnight? Just pour them in, cook, done, right? But skipping the soaking process actually blocks your body from absorbing key minerals. That's because oats naturally contain something called phytic acid, which binds to nutrients like iron and zinc and stops your body from using them. Now I just soak them in water or almond milk the night before. It softens the oats, breaks down the phytic acid, and makes them easier to digest. Plus, it saves time in the morning. Overnight oats have become my go-to. Once I made that switch, I started noticing less bloating and more energy after breakfast. Who knew such a small step could make such a big difference? Mistake 6. Eating undercooked oats. There was a time I thought as soon as the oats looked soft, they were good to go. Big mistake. Turns out undercooked oats are tough on digestion and don't allow your body to access all the fiber benefits, especially beta-glucan, which needs proper cooking to really do its job. That gel-like texture you want? You only get that when oats are fully cooked and softened. If they're still chewy and raw-ish, your body's working overtime to break them down. Now I let my oats simmer a little longer on the stove or use the microwave with extra water, stirring every 30 seconds. It makes a world of difference. Smoother texture, better taste, easier on the gut. Anyone else ever felt gassy or bloated after eating oats? Yeah. Undercooked oats were probably to blame. Mistake 7, overcooking oatmeal. On the flip side, cooking oats too long turns them into a gummy, sticky mess. I've had bowls like that, where the oats lost all their texture and tasted more like wallpaper paste than food. Overcooked oats also digest faster, which means you feel full for less time. And the high heat? It can damage some of the sensitive nutrients in oats, especially B vitamins. Now I aim for a creamy consistency with a little bit of texture left. I've found that rolled oats are easier to control, and if I want something smoother, I go for instant, but never overcook them. It's funny how just 2 extra minutes on the stove can completely change the way oats affect your body. Mistake 8, using the wrong liquid. I used to think starting with milk made oatmeal creamier, but it actually does the opposite. The proteins in milk bind with the starch in oats, making the final result overly thick and sticky. Plus, heating milk too much can degrade its nutrients and even make it taste off. What I do now is cook my oats in water, then stir in a splash of almond milk or oat milk at the end. That gives me the creaminess without the mess. It's such a simple tweak, but the difference in texture and taste is honestly kind of impressive. Have you tried this before? You might never go back to cooking oats in milk again. Mistake 9, skipping the salt. I know it sounds weird to add salt to something sweet like oatmeal. I thought so too. But not adding even a tiny pinch can leave your oats tasting flat and bland, no matter how many toppings you throw on. Salt enhances the natural flavor of oats and helps blend everything together. The trick is adding it while cooking, not afterward. That way it dissolves into the oats, not just sits on top like dust. Once I started doing this, I actually needed less sweet stuff to make my oats taste good. Try it once. Seriously, you'll be surprised what a difference one little pinch makes. Mistake 10, relying solely on oatmeal. This one's a biggie. I used to think having oatmeal every single day was the healthiest move I could make. But oats, while awesome, aren't a magic fix for everything. They lack certain things we absolutely need, like complete protein, vitamin B12, heme iron, and omega-3 fats. So if your whole breakfast routine is just oatmeal and more oatmeal, you might actually be missing out on key nutrients. Now, I still eat oats regularly, but I mix it up. I add Greek yogurt, some nuts, or even an egg on the side, and I make sure the rest of my meals include veggies, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Oatmeal's part of the bigger picture, not the whole thing. Are you depending on your breakfast to carry your whole day's nutrition? That's something worth rethinking. So there you have it, the 10 oatmeal mistakes that quietly sabotage the health benefits you think you're getting. I've made most of these myself at one point or another, and fixing them didn't just improve how I feel in the mornings, it changed my energy, my digestion, even my skin over time. The takeaway, oatmeal is powerful, but only when you treat it right. If this helped you rethink how you prepare your morning oats, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Share it with someone who swears by their oatmeal, but might be making these same mistakes. And of course, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my upcoming practical, real-world health tips. Tell me in the comments, how do you usually make your oats, and which of these changes are you going to try first? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.